Good evening. I hope you are all doing well today and behaving yourselves, although I guess it's all getting a little bit tedious. It would kind of be nice to know where we're at, wouldn't it? Well, that's okay. Whatever happens, happens. And I shall just blather on for a few seconds. And yes, someone's arrived. We're doing the moon tonight, which is going to be amazing. Phyllis is going to have the time of her life. The absolute time of her life. So, my hands are a bit funny. I've been taking antibiotics and this morning my hands went all red like little sausages, and apparently it's, what do you call it? A side effect from the antibiotics. I don't know, but I'm fed up with it. Fed up with a whole lot of it. Hi Joe, how are you? Hope all is going well. See what Phyllis is up to tonight. I will give it till 7:05 and then we'll be at it. Nearly getting to the end actually. The moon's near the end of it. There's only about 4 more to go. So it's going to be interesting and it'll all be over. I see our dear leader was down in Murupara today. Can't understand why she was at fucking Murupara. Aren't there more important places to be? Never mind. Obviously, she felt the need. Decided that what they should do is put vaccination centres near every KFC and McDonald's. I think I would have got mine done a far lot quicker. No, I wouldn't have done it quicker. I did mine pretty fast. So, no, there we go. But, you know, make it easy for people. I know they're sort of making it easy with buses and all the rest of it. But hey, outside the supermarket, get your jab into the supermarket. Perfect. Would work brilliantly. But what are we going to do when this is all over? That's going to be interesting, isn't it? What do you want to do? I want to go shopping. Like shopping properly. And go into shops and look at clothes. And I want to visit the $2 shop. Definitely want to visit the $2 shop. Because they have so many gadgets and you don't realise what gadgets you need from the $2 shop until you don't have a $2 shop to go to. So I want to go to the $2 shop. I want to go to the op shops and, you know, go and look for blue glass and wonderful treasures. And I want to go and look at clothes instead of ordering them off a line. Tina, hi. I'm having a good old blather for a moment. And then we're going to get into Phyllis and the moon. So 1 more minute and Phyllis is going to go to the moon. And I tell you what, this is going to be the best one of the whole series. It's almost going to be like a little shamanic journey. So if you're in the mood for a little bit of imaginative fantasy type of thing, that's exactly what we're going to do. So 7:04, we'll give it to 7:05 and then we're in. So how you doing over there, Tina? I hope all is well and that you're rocking it all out. I notice your fabulous daughter is doing exceptionally well. Good for her. And I notice the Adira stuff is out. Oh, how good is that? I just hope that you're going to put it in my size, mate. We need my size for Adira. You know what? If you had my size in Adira, I'd go to the gym. I promise I would. I would go to the gym. Okay, so it's 7:05. And we are going to now do the journey of Phyllis going to the moon. Yeah. I promise I will. Karina, oh hi, more. God, there's more from Australia than there are from New Zealand. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do Phyllis goes to the moon. So as you know, well, no, you may not know, but yesterday, the other day, Phyllis was, where was Phyllis? The Star. That's right, she went to the theatre And she stood on stage and she was her star. And she learned that you stand in your own light and you shine in your own light. Anyway, she's left the theatre. She's gone to the car park. She's driving home. And she's thinking about all of these lessons that she's been through. And she's thinking, wow, you know, I've learned so much about myself. It's all quite amazing. And she's driving along. Now, I want you to imagine we have beautiful West Coast beaches here. You will remember, Karina, because I think you worked out on them on one of those movies. So Phyllis is driving along one of the West Coast beaches. The moon is so high in the sky, so beautifully high in the sky, and it's just shining down. And Phyllis decides to pull over. Hi, Kim. Decides to pull over and just take a look at the full moon because it's so beautiful. So she pulls over to the little lookout, and she looks out over the water, and the water's shining, and suddenly right by the side of her is a woman. And the woman is, I'm just going to get my bottle because I know I'm going to get a dry throat doing this, so I'll just get my bottle ready. So this woman is standing by the side of her, and she's in a silver dress, and her skin is glowing silver. And Phyllis goes, hello, and the woman goes, hello. I'm from the moon. I am the goddess of the moon. I'm the woman in the moon. And Phyllis goes, yeah, right. Come on. I haven't been smoking anything. I'm pretty straight at the moment. And the woman goes, no, no, no. You stopped here to admire the moon, and I saw you, and I wanted to stop and show you what the moon was all about and what the lessons are about the moon. And Phyllis goes, yeah, okay. And she's not really quite sure. She's wondering if there was something in her coffee, maybe. And so the woman says, come with me. And Phyllis goes, okay. So the woman takes her hand. And just as she takes her hand, there is a beautiful silver moonbeam that comes right down to the car. And so Phyllis and this woman step onto this moonbeam and start heading towards the moon. It's like a little escalator moonbeam. Next thing, Phyllis is standing in the moon. Not on it, but in it. At this beautiful silver gateway. She looks at the woman and says, what on earth is this? And the woman says, I told you, I'm the woman from the moon, and I'm here to show you what the moon is all about and how it influences your life and what it's here for. And so Phyllis thinks, wow, well, I've been through a fair few odd things. Let's get it on. So the woman says, come with me, and they go through this door. And it's inky black. And Phyllis looks towards the woman, and the woman is shining white, silver. And in the reflection, Phyllis can see that the floors are polished onyx. But then she turns around, and the woman's light is gone. She said, are you there? And the woman says, yes, I'm here. But remember, there are two sides to the moon. There is the dark and there is the light. And right now, you're in the dark. Just stop and think for a moment. Listen. Phyllis goes, I can't hear anything. And the woman says, precisely. And what can you see? And Phyllis says, I can see nothing. And the woman said, exactly. And Phyllis is in this beautiful velvet darkness where she can't even hear what she can't hear. You know, sometimes when we think, oh, we just want a bit of silence, but you can still feel your heartbeat, or you can still feel the noises in your head. Phyllis can't feel any of that whatsoever. Phyllis is standing there in utter velvet, soft darkness. She doesn't have to think, and she's actually thinking. I don't have to think. And the woman says, don't think. Don't say a word. Be in this darkness. There is always a dark side to the moon. And you're in that dark side right now. Enjoy not having to think. not having to interpret feelings, not having to feel. You don't have to do anything. And Phyllis takes a deep breath. She tries to reach out and she can feel nothing. And the woman said, no, there are no senses here. Everything is black. Everything is void. Everything is dark. And yet there's nothing to be afraid of. In fact, sometimes being in the dark is the most wonderful thing that you could ever experience. Because for those minutes that you hold yourself in the dark, you don't have to interact with anyone. You don't have to think about anyone. You don't have to feel anything. You don't have to do anything. For those precious, valuable moments in the dark, you can simply be. And Phyllis takes a deep breath and lets the dark dance around her. She thinks she feels a draft here and she thinks she feels a murmur there, but she knows she doesn't really. And she sits down onto the beautiful onyx floor and enjoys the void. We love the void. We absolutely adore the void. And after a few moments, the goddess shines up so brightly. She lights up the room and Phyllis gets a bit of a shock and says, oh. And the woman says, now you have experienced the void. Now you have experienced the dark. Now I'm going to show you the light side of the moon. And Phyllis goes, right. And the woman says, come with me. And she takes her out of the room through these beautiful silver gates and shows her the sea. And it's the inkiest, most beautiful sea. And the moon is shining down on it, and suddenly 100 dolphins come flying out of the sea, and jewel drops of water shatter into 1,000 silver pieces. And the goddess of the moon says, come with me, come, let's play. And she and Phyllis slide down the moonbeam into the pod of dolphins, and they dance and they sing with the dolphins. And Phyllis's heart is so full of joy, so full of light. And that's not all, says the goddess. Come, come, we have more places to go. And she takes her out towards the stars, out past the moon, out past the sun, out into the sprinkling of stars. She looks back and she can still see the moon shining brightly, but she is in a place she's never been before. And she settles down on a land that she's never been before. And there's a bright fire burning. And the people are dancing and leaping around a fire. And they're drinking out of silver goblets. And they're drinking water that is the silver of the moon. And Phyllis says, where am I? And she said, you're round the other side of the moon. You're out far beyond the Milky Way. But the moon is the gateway to the stars. And that's what I'm showing you. This is the gateway. And Phyllis dances with these people. She sings and she eats and she drinks. And she walks down a beautiful pathway with the goddess. And there are unicorns. And Phyllis says, oh my goodness, I didn't know that they existed. She said, here anything exists. And they both hop onto a unicorn. And the unicorns take flight, all of them. 20 or 30 unicorns just take flight. And they take Phyllis and the moon goddess out beyond even that galaxy and comes right back around, right back to our moon. And they land on the beach. And Phyllis is dressed. She didn't realize it before, but she has been changed into a silver dress like the goddess of the moon. She sees the dolphins out in the water, still prancing and dancing. The unicorns are stamping and making noises and joyfully galloping down the beach with such freedom. And Phyllis can see just down the beach a campfire, and she walks down towards it and sees these beautiful beings from the water. They're all dressed in silver, and she says, "Who are you?" They say, "We are the moon water people. We are part of the moon, but we live beneath the sea. We are the Atlanteans that used to worship the moon, but we still do worship the moon. And it is very rare that we get to be able to come up onto a beach. It's very rare that we are able to do this. And even more rare that a human sees us, but come join us." And she turns to the woman, and the woman smiles and says, "Take your opportunity." And then suddenly these people start howling at the moon. Howling and howling. And Phyllis takes up the call because it's so inspiring. It's empowering to howl at the moon. And with these people, she howls and she chants, and they stamp their feet and she stamps her feet, and they beat their drums and she beats her drum. And dawn is just cracking, and they run into the water. And Phyllis walks up the beach with the woman from the moon standing by the car. And she looks at the woman and she said, "That was amazing." And the woman said, "Yes, you have learned that the moon has two faces. That sometimes you want to be in the dark of the moon. Sometimes you want to be where there isn't anybody, where there isn't any sound, where there isn't any interaction, where there is no connectedness, that it is just black. And other times you want to howl at the moon. Other times you want to sing and dance and put yourself out there in the open. The moon is twofold, as we all are." And Phyllis smiles and she turns to the car, and then she just quickly turns back and the woman is gone. And she has on her jeans and her t-shirt, and the sun has just risen, and the beach is stunning. And she gets into a car and starts the car and continues her way home, knowing that she can go to a place that is silent and dark, or she can howl at the moon. So I hope you enjoyed that. And that is how Phyllis learns about the moon. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that. Go and have some fun and let me know what you thought about it, because I love doing those kinds of things. So sometimes when we do these cards, it's better to do it in that journey story form than it is. And hey, it gives you something to come along for the ride with Phyllis. Come along for the ride. And next time, it's new moon. So next time we have a full moon, let's just look up at the moon and know we can be in the dark side, we can be in the light side, whichever we need. Okay. Love you all. Behave yourselves. Mwah.